Nestled high in the Andes Mountains in the country of Ecuador, you'll find the Vilcabamba Valley. Birth records maintained by the local Catholic churches confirm that a high percentage of Vilcabambans live well beyond 100 years of age. What makes the Vilcabambans remarkable is that they live free from diseases that are common in Western culture. Diseases like diabetes, heart disease, and cancer are virtually unknown here. Decades of study have led scientists like Dr. Alexander Leaf of Harvard Medical School and medical journalist Dr. Morton Walker to determine that the Vilcabambans' long and healthy lives can be attributed to consuming mineral-rich drinking water and the antioxidant-rich fruits that grow naturally in the valley. The Vilcabambans have been very generous in allowing the rest of the world to have access to their mineral-rich waters and fruits with the highest antioxidant value in the world. By their generosity, they are allowing Via Viente to export health and hope around the world, so we too can live long and healthy lives. The future of the Vilcabamba region is in the hands of its children. To maintain their rich heritage, these children need quality education so they won't have to leave the village in their late teenage years to study in larger cities. Unfortunately, once children leave Vilcabamba to pursue an education, they typically never return to the Sacred Valley. My name is Terry Mink. I am a trustee of the Andes Children's Foundation and led the first 2 mission trips to Vilcabamba. I have firsthand experience with the needs of the children of the Vilcabamba Valley. The children of Vilcabamba don't suffer from famine or disease. They are some of the healthiest people on earth. However, they are suffering from an antiquated educational system that is unable to provide full educational opportunities. This is because of the limited financial resources of the state-run school system. Teachers in this system who earn about $125 per month frequently go on strike just to earn an additional $10. And the schools do not even have enough school books for the children. Much time is wasted as teachers read from a single copy of a book, while the children handwrite everything so they will have something to study. It costs $120 for each child to go to school. This is a small sum to us, but a month's wages to a Vilcabamban family. With no support from the government, it is up to each family to outfit each child with uniforms, shoes, books, pencils, rulers, and other class supplies. Because it is important to give back to these generous people, Via Viente founder and CEO Craig Keeland established the Andes Children's Foundation to serve the children of the area. Craig asked his longtime friend Jaime Mendoza, who Craig calls the ambassador of Vilcabamba, to become the director of the foundation. Craig Keeland explains.
The Andes Children's Foundation has been something that we've been able to form from Via Viente because we want to give back to the people of Vilcabamba. And who better to work with than my partner in Vilcabamba, Mr. Jaime Mendoza.
Jaime was born in Ecuador but grew up in the United States. On a trip to Ecuador, Jaime visited Vilcabamba and fell in love with the scenic beauty, the climate, and the people. Today, Jaime, his wife Durga, and 2 children, Ava and Adrian, make Vilcabamba their home. There is no one more qualified to understand the educational needs of these children than Jaime Mendoza.
We concentrated our efforts with education and with the children. And Craig showed up on one of his trips with a huge box full of computers.
And you'd asked for those?
Yeah.
Right.
And we presented these to a couple of the institutions, the educational institutions here, to the high school and the grammar school. And we were amazed at the gratitude and the positive reaction we got, not just from the teachers, but from the students who gathered around to show their gratitude for it. And Craig and I decided, hey, this is the way to go. This is what we got to do.
The Andes Children's Foundation is a registered 501c3 charity that provides financial and physical support for the educational needs of the children. The foundation's goal is to give back to the people who have given so much and to do it in a way that will not adversely affect the area's resources. Craig and Jaime explain how much these children need our help.
For some of the people out there, they don't have a realization, but here it was the school system gets virtually little to no money from the government, the teachers.
Little to no money, more no money than little. The teacher is the only one normally who has a book, and the students hear what the teacher is reading and they write down things. But now, like this year is the first year that each student is going to have a copy of the same book that the teacher has.
In one school.
In one school.
The initial work of the foundation began in early 2003 when Craig Keeland traveled to Vilcabamba with a very special donation, the local school's very first computer system. Since that first donation, the Andes Children's Foundation has provided school supplies to more than 10 schools in the area. Computers, TVs with VCRs, and other much-needed technology, including internet access via satellite, have been delivered. Craig and Jaime explain the unique challenges of providing internet access to the schools.
And the internet wasn't like you just picked up the phone and said we want internet service at this location. It didn't exist, and we had to use a satellite, which they had never done before in the valley. So that was quite intensive on your part. You gave a lot of labor and a lot of money went into making that happen.
To begin with, the phone service here is practically to this day new.
Yeah.
Unless you have a cell phone. Cell phone installations have been done recently, but no other phone service was really reliable. And we were able to finance with our contracts a man in town to buy his own satellite equipment and give services to these institutions. Based on that, based on these contracts that we gave him, he's been able to do the installation of the satellite connections.
The foundation has provided Vilcabamba High School, San Pedro High School, San Pedro Grammar School, and Vilcabamba Girls School with a total of 13 computers and monitors, 4 complete Spanish-English language translation CD sets, 2 video projectors, chemistry lab equipment and supplies including 7 microscopes, internet access via satellite, 2 printers and copiers, woodworking tools, 1 digital camera, 3 learning centers with 12 headsets in each, teacher training, 150 desks with 300 chairs, and over 2,000 pounds of school supplies. In the agrarian culture of Vilcabamba, children go to school early in the morning or in the evening hours, leaving time during the day to work. To get to the nearest school, many children must walk as much as 2 hours each way every day. Craig and Jaime explain.
Now, working down here means agriculture, because this whole valley is agriculture. So they're used to walking 1 to 3 miles to school. Everybody walks in Vilcabamba. Right. So they either go in the morning or they can go in the evening to school, but not both.
Correct.
Right.
And the kids from the indigenous school, which is right around up there.
The very, almost the top.
Right. And these kids had to walk at least 2 hours down to town.
And then 2 hours back.
And then 2 hours back. And for years they had been trying to build the school.
Right.
When the Andes Foundation discovered the school, they were barely finished with one wall.
And they spent how many years on that wall?
They had been about 2.5 years.
2.5 years on one wall.
Yeah.
Okay. So now they're asking kids to come on a gravel, what I'd call gravel floor, with walls that were not complete.
Correct.
Okay.
So
you call me up and you say, hey,
we got to do something.
Andes Children's Foundation, we need to do something.
The Andes Children's Foundation stepped in to complete construction of a Montessori school located high in the mountainous region above Vilcabamba for the Vilcabamban's indigenous children who are descendants of the Incas, so they could attend school daily in their own community. So much more is needed. Every year, Jaime Mendoza prepares a list of needs and presents the school's request to the foundation. Craig explains.
It's important for everybody watching this tape to know that it's not that we came down here and said, hey, these are things that you need. It's Jaime Mendoza as the ambassador of the Vilcabamba Valley coming to us and saying, if we could help these students and help these children, this is the way that would be most beneficial. And so every time that we provide this on a monthly basis down to Jaime, and he orchestrates everything down here for us, we're able to come back down and see the progress it's made, and then we start working on the next 12 months out to see what we can do. So it's a partnership that's been very beneficial for all of us. We look forward to many, many years together.
The foundation also provides individuals with a unique way to serve the children of Vilcabamba through 1 to 3 week educational missions. Participants can travel to Vilcabamba at their own expense and teach the children directly. Volunteers are given the opportunity to share their own specialties such as computer skills, training on various software packages, and teaching subjects like science, math, and more. Through this program called Mission Vilcabamba, missionaries don't need to possess any special skill or talent. They are always needed to teach English, music, or even organize athletic events. The goal is to provide anyone who would like to participate with an opportunity to serve.
We're helping many schools down here, because I know one time you and I went into school, because every time we go there, the children are so beautiful. They're the wealthiest children in the world that I've ever seen through all of my travels. Now, the monetary wealth is at a virtually zero level. They live in nice little adobe, I call them adobe homes. They've got adobe floors. They're probably on average about 400 to 500 square feet for a family of 3 to 6 or 7 people in one room. But they have more love than any group of people on earth that I've ever traveled to, been to, or felt, and they're so appreciative. So we went to the school. They put on these beautiful plays when we come, and afterwards I noticed that there weren't any desks or chairs in the classroom. So I thought, well, maybe they had just moved them out for us for that day. But the following day we were back, and I asked you, and you said, well, they don't have desks or chairs.
That's right. They were sitting on the floor.
Yes.
Or they would scoot over, and two or three maybe would sit on a chair or take turns. Some of them would stand up against the wall, but that came to an end, because that's one of the wonderful things that the foundation did, was to have desks built for every student in that school.
I know. Jaime and I talked, and I said, well, let's buy the desks that they need. We'll put up the money. And he said, well, there's not a place to buy desks and chairs. We'll have to make them. So they were custom made to hold 2 students per desk and 2 little chairs per desk. And so I know we did that for the school.
If you travel to Vilcabamba and get involved in the next mission trip, you'll see for yourself how much these children need and how much more they deserve. You'll also be able to join the team on an incredible adventure to experience the waterfall discovered by Craig Keeland on his first trip to Vilcabamba. After a 3-mile trek through the rainforest, you'll stand under the waterfall as Vilcabamba's mineral water cascades down into the river. The Vilcabamba Valley sits at the foothills of the Andes Mountains at an elevation of approximately 5,000 feet. Because it is one of the few places on Earth that was not affected by the Ice Age, the area is known for its pre-Ice Age microorganisms. As rainwater falls, thousands of pools are filled with the most organically mineral-rich spring waters in the world. The water surfaces in natural springs that are abundant throughout the valley. Craig and Dr. Morton Walker explain.
What I've noticed is that when I'm here, it'll rain in the morning for just a little bit, nothing during the day, no clouds anywhere. And then about 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, heavy rains come in, but they stop, and then about 8:30 or 9, by the time you go to bed around here at night, all night long, tapping on the roof is the rain. And I know that rain collects high up in the top of these mountains, and it's there, the lush vegetation pools.
It starts way up, like 16, 18,000 feet, and the clouds burst, and the water flows down the mountain and picks up minerals from the rocks along the way. It gets so mineral rich, and when you drink that, the essence, then you become mineral rich, and your body thrives on that. It drops into pools, and it accumulates and concentrates, and it overflows and flows down to the next pool. In the meantime, the people are drinking from this, and they're getting healthier and living longer. Oh, it's just the most fabulous place.
This water saturates the ground, nourishing the fruits and vegetation that grow in the valley. Dr. Morton Walker explains how he collected hair samples from the centenarians of Vilcabamba in 1981. Lab analysis of those hair samples showed that the people eating the fruits and drinking the water from the area were absorbing nutrients into their bodies.
With the others in my party, we took hair samples from 50 Vilcabambans. There
I
were.
remember.
Oh yeah, you were there.
I was there.
You helped interpret.
Yeah.
Yes, you were there right with us.
Yeah.
Anyway, 40 of them were over the age of 100, and 10 were children. We wanted the children as controls. We wanted to see if the children are born this way, or if this was an acquired, it was a characteristic that was acquired, because you are what you eat. There's no doubt about it. So if you eat garbage, you are garbage. But if you eat this wonderful, pure food, and you drink the water as it comes down the mountainside, you truly are, your tissues are what you eat and drink. So there's no doubt about that. We took these samples back, and they were analyzed by a laboratory in Hayward, California called Mineral Lab. The proprietor of that lab, Gary Gordon, MD-DO, he analyzed it, and he was amazed. He had never before seen mineral structure in tissues, because the hair is, of course, your tissue. And so he examined that, and he said, these people can't possibly have illnesses, and it's true. Here, there is no diabetes. There is no heart disease, there's no cancer, there's no degenerative diseases of any kind that ordinarily we get back in civilized countries. We get these diseases from eating improperly. We eat really junk food, and most often any fast food you eat is a bad food, and so the result is you die prematurely. These people live to 120 and beyond, and we, back in North America and Europe, unfortunately, we died around average age 76.
The mineral-rich water of Vilcabamba is bottled under tight security for inclusion in Via Viente. This all-natural whole-fruit puree blend is exporting health and hope throughout the world. Jaime explains.
And this is water that comes from the lakes, from the watersheds, filters down through vegetation, and we pick it up in these artesian wells, and we bottle it. And we export it only to a very special person.
Because we use it in Via Viente, as well as the fruits around
Keeland
here.
and Via Viente. And this way we were able to bring Vilcabamba to those who
Via
do
Viente around the world, as well as the fruits that are around here. They grow naturally. You've seen that they're not in orchards, they're not planted. There's lemon trees and orange trees and apple trees. And somebody one time, asked me if they're organic. And I'm just looking at them going, well, they've got to be organic because you don't have any fertilizer down here, and they grow from the rainforest, and they're not planted trees.
There's no insecticides
of anything.
No, it's not necessary. Here we're growing fruits from the subtropics of Ecuador, from the tropics, and from the highlands of Ecuador. We are at a perfect altitude, 1,500 meters, with amazing soils.
About 4,500 feet.
Yeah.
In 1,500.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. Exactly a mile high.
Right.
And we can grow anything that the country grows. And of course, organically. In fact, they grow so wild practically that no one really goes into the business of selling fruit, because you can just go around and pick your fruit from anywhere. No one cares. There's so much of it.
And I know on the way yesterday up to the lakes, there were, berries everywhere and different type of fruits, and you just pick what you want as you went up, and
Oh yeah.
and eat it on the way up. And there's bananas here locally that are just everywhere.
The newly released book, 12 Weeks to Optimum Health, tells the complete story of Vilcabamba. In this book, you'll learn more about the centenarians and the region's antioxidant-rich fruits and mineral-dense water. You can order 12 Weeks to Optimum Health by going to www.andeschildrensfoundation.org. A portion of the proceeds from the sale of the book goes to the Andes Children's Foundation. Many Via Viente distribution agents choose to contribute a portion of their Via monthly compensation to support the Foundation's work in Vilcabamba. To begin making monthly donations, visit Via Viente's website to request a donation form. Your help will ensure a strong future for the children of Vilcabamba.